It's the late 1990s. The internet is clunky, slow, and tethered to the family phone line. If you want to hear a new song, you either sit by the radio with a cassette tape ready to record, or you shell out $15 at Tower Records for a CD. Music is something you buy, borrow, or tape off a friend, not something you just have. But the world is shifting. Teens are spending late nights online, chat rooms are buzzing, and college dorms are thick with the smell of ramen noodles and the dissonant melody of dial-up modems. The dream of the internet is beginning to take shape. This means unlimited information, unlimited connection, and maybe, just maybe, unlimited music. And then everything changes. Kids are building massive digital libraries. Every track, every artist, every album they've ever wanted appears on their computers with a click of a mouse. Record labels are panicking, lawsuits are flying, and artists are outraged. Some brands die quietly. Others explode, burn bright, and change the world before they disappear. This October, as we tell the stories of dead brands, let's explore the one that changed the rules of music ownership forever. And that's why this week's On Brand is on Napster.
You're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show and it's on right now. It's on Brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. I'm Jon.
I'm Marisa.
What, is that right?
Yeah. You are, Jon.
125 shows,
Jon.
and I still don't know how that goes.
Okay.
Napster. I did figure it out. Napster. What a fun dead brand.
What does Napster mean to you?
So Napster is like early internet. It's like you said, it's the I have 5,000 free hours of AOL.
Uh-huh. Did you keep those CDs?
No, I actually don't think I don't see them anywhere.
It seems like you would save them for a craft, or you would have some reason to hang on to a free compact disc.
It does seem like something that should be in a museum.
Sure. It doesn't seem like trash.
They came free in LA Weeklies, which is also a dead brand that I miss. I didn't even think about that. LA Weekly, big newspaper that came out every week. Mm-hmm. That's how you found out about concerts and all the whatnots going around in town.
And a really good place to find out about an erotic massage.
An erotic massage and where the Pixies were playing.
Uh-huh.
Probably at Whiskey Go-Go. Napster. So did I use Napster? I definitely did. I also used LimeWire. I went through a pirating phase. I think everyone did.
You have pirate energy. I mean, your thievery.
I wasn't like crazy about it.
Sure.
What I pirated, which I don't even think.
I mean, you pirate ice.
I pirate ice. I'm an ice pirate. That's my Halloween costume.
Ice pirate.
Merch. My action figure. Jon as ice pirate. Oh my God, that is good merch. Jon on an ice capade action figure.
That's really good.
Now with real ice. That'll be hard to do. I saw a funny joke this week that was like, it's such a dad funny or mom funny joke, but they were like, the easy baked brownie I put in the oven in 1978 is just about done.
Because it took so long.
Because it
was cooked by a light bulb. I
bulb.
mean, can you imagine?
A low watt light bulb.
You know what's funny about AOL is you would get a CD for like 15 hours of internet, which nowadays that's one day on your phone.
Yeah. My phone every Sunday is like, somehow you use another 40% of your time on your phone. I'm like, we're already at like 200% of my day is
What
on
did
the
you
phone.
do before? I don't know.
I mean, I don't listen with what? Internet? What are you talking about?
With your time.
I almost said red. That's untrue. TV.
Cruising. So you're right. Napster was the first, and there were other ones that followed. Kazaa, LimeWire. There were many other
LimeWire is the one I remember the most. And I don't feel bad about what I pirated because usually what I was looking for were things that were never available retail.
Sure.
They were like live Cure concerts, live Cocteau Twin concerts, live Bjork. Mm-hmm. It was always like live stuff that you just couldn't. Because I was a big CD purchaser. Mm-hmm. Well, early a shoplifter, then a purchaser. Sure. But I had a large collection of CDs. Uh-huh. I wasn't adverse to physical media.
Do you still have your
whole
CDs?
CD collection?
In the unit?
No, that's in the house.
Oh, wow.
And in the CDs that in 2014 when I did the Great Purge, The CDs that I put on the B tier are now in the carport.
Okay.
A tier still in the home.
Sure.
But I did find
temperature regulated. Sure, CDs can.
In my non-air conditioned apartment,
Right.
my house isn't like a wine cellar. It's just a hot box.
No, I think it's like a 7-Eleven where you walk in and it does that big whoosh of air.
God, I don't know. That's like a law in LA. I think I've found out. Like they have to have that whoosh of air. There's like some reason they have that.
We've talked about this whoosh of air, and I don't think we ever knew why.
I don't know, but the one at the 7-Eleven, I feel like we just talked about this. It's extra whooshy. It's like I have to thank God.
Did we settle that it's for bugs?
I don't think it's for bugs. Maybe it was for COVID. But thank God I don't wear a tube. No offense if you do, but if you wear a tube, don't go to the 7-Eleven on Hyperion because that thing is going to whoosh off your head.
That thing is going to be in the Gatorade case.
Another thing about that 7-Eleven, for 200 years, it is under a STD billboard.
Yes.
That billboard can only tell you something about AIDS or
it's like the billboard was erected by the AIDS Foundation because it is the only applicant.
It is the only applicant, which, funny enough, I saw an SVU that
And by the way, we're laughing because they are funny STD ads.
Yeah, we're not, of course, making
It'll be like, well,
light
if you didn't know that they were funny, you might be like, why are they snickering about an
AIDS,
HIV awareness billboard?
They do make them funny. Like it'll be like two old people kissing and like you're never too old to get herpes or something like that.
Yes.
They're tongue in cheek.
Tongue in cheek.
But
sometimes literally.
Okay. No, that's
cheek.
not funny. But there was an SVU where the woman, whatever, it all came down to the reason that she was found guilty was because she had unprotected sex. And she's like, I didn't know. And then they were like, you live under a billboard that has had an HIV sign for 7 years.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why they were like, you're guilty.
That doesn't feel like that could hold up in court.
Listen, 27 seasons, they gotta pull
like
stuff.
a bit of a stretch.
I'm sure I'm not telling it exactly right. I'm sure Olivia Benson, everything she does is above the board.
Yeah, I would hope so.
So I went through, I was a digital hoarder. I collected a lot of digital files. I don't know where any of that is anymore. Probably on some dusty old hard drive that has a connector that doesn't work anymore.
Sure, an old plug, ancient plug.
Which, keep your plugs.
Keep
When you clean out of the house,
plugs.
When you clean out your house, keep your plugs. You have a bag of plugs. I have a bag, an IKEA blue.
Are you kidding?
Bag of plugs in the unit because I just won't throw any of them away because I learned that sometimes you're going to need it again, and if you look for it, it's going to be $200.
That is a really good point. I'm not a big digital hoarder, but I do save all my old iPhones and the old plug that was that wide one. That big wide one. And the one that I had, it's not like I even could have saved it because remember how it would get all frayed and there'd be wires poking out?
Which I think was done on purpose.
For
so
sure.
we had to buy
and I
more.
remember it would stop charging, but instead of buying another one, I would just have to wrap it I would have to tuck it underneath the iPhone and wrap it around 2 times to get it to the wires to connect a certain way to where it would charge.
I'm going through that right now with my phone. Every device I have at some point gets to a point where the charge, you have to dangle the cord to get that blink and then the little lightning bolt to come on.
It's too much. But that's really good advice. Save your cords. And cords are a really annoying thing to save. I am waiting for some genius to come along.
Oh, quick disclaimer.
Some way to save these.
There's some construction going on, and right now there's the continuous beat of a steel beam. So if you hear an unusual noise during this pod, that's why.
Pretend it's the crew in that old famous photo of those 8 guys having lunch on that steel beam.
Oh.
Pretend it's them.
I have that photo.
You do?
The original.
In the unit.
No, I have it in a book.
I wasn't a big music person, as we know.
No, you weren't downloading barbershop quartets. You're like on the Italian Napster, Napster.il, and you're like, okay, who's my favorite barbershopian?
I was trying to think, and I know we've talked a little bit about music before. My early CDs, I remember I had Alanis Morissette, I had TLC. I remember Napster. I did a lot of music stealing, but probably just because that was what you did at the time. And I remember listening to a lot of Shaggy.
Oh, right. What was Shaggy's big hit?
It wasn't me.
How does that go?
Saw you banging on the sofa. It wasn't me. Saw you banging on the counter.
It wasn't me. I don't remember that.
song?
No. I thought he had one that I remembered. I'm sure he does.
He might.
Leave it to you to pick Shaggy's least known song. His B-side.
I've always just been somebody, I just prefer silence.
Marching to the beat of your own quiet drum.
Very quiet, almost imperceptible beat.
My friend Matt, to this day, I'm like, have you seen whatever? Have you seen the new Superman? He's like, no, is it good? Yeah, it's good. All right, I'll download it. Like, he just steal. He's a pirate. He is always there are still, what's it called? It has a name, I forget.
Digital pirates?
No.
Piracy?
You're not gonna know it. There's a name for it, but people are still stealing.
People are still stealing. That's good to know.
But I remember with, I think, like LimeWire, there was like this sense of like, I could go to prison. Like, I felt like there were like pop-ups that came up that was like, just so you know, like, if you do this, you could go to prison.
Well, I will mention, since I have you here on this topic,
it was a little scary.
Not through Napster, because individuals weren't targeted in any of that litigation, but for Kazaa and LimeWire, they did try to make an example out of some kids by, plastering them all over the news, saying that they were getting sued. And so a 12-year-old girl in New York was sued $2,000 for downloading music.
Oh my gosh, she could have just bought all of the Alanis Morissettes plus Hootie with that money.
Think about how much Shaggy that would buy.
The crazy thing about it was still kind of like, and this is hard for some of the youngins to realize, the internet was still pretty new at this point.
Oh, yes.
So like, I was using it basically to go into gay chat rooms, but when the internet first came out, it was all about connecting with complete strangers, and we were all really young. So like, at this time we're stealing music, you're kind of like, it's like you're sneaking into some complete psychopath's like music closet at his house and looking at all of his weird, messy files.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out.
Those files were messy.
They were
sometimes.
messy. It's not like it was like The Cure live in Paris, 1984.
No.
It was like squiggles and squaggles and happy faces.
And it would take so long for it to download that you would queue up whatever you wanted. You go to bed, you wake up. Much to your dismay.
At some point, at 4 a.m, it stopped connecting.
Sure.
And you couldn't like pick up where you left off. Sometimes you could. It was
or the file is all squiggle squaggles.
all
It's not what it said it was.
or it didn't open.
Yes.
It was not a surefire thing until you had the headphones on and you were listening to Robert Smith sing live in Paris.
Sure.
It was a gamble.
That was a gamble, yeah.
Yeah.
It was an exciting time to be alive.
I've never felt more alive than when I was on LimeWire, stealing Fiona Apple's like unreleased tracks.
Sure, yeah.
Which that was one of the things I got. Her whole album got like leaked. And it wasn't the version she wanted, so then we all had 2 versions. It was a way to be sneaky and get
It was pretty sneaky for
stuff
kids.
that artists didn't want us to have.
Sure, and
we felt like it was our right.
I never would have shoplifted, but this felt like a gray area. So while we're getting into it, let's talk a little bit about the history of piracy. So we remember making mixtapes on cassettes. Do you ever make a mixtape taped off the radio?
Did I ever make a mixtape? I kept, during the Great Purge, which has now come up twice, I came across my cassettes. And I have several mixtapes that people I couldn't get rid of those. Those feel like, it's like throwing away a scrapbook to me, even if I never listened to it. And cassettes do, if you have like, this whole show is like me telling you not to throw away anything. If you come across cassettes, don't throw them away. Like
cassettes are coming back.
You can sell vintage cassette. It's like vintage T-shirts. There's a market for it.
And do cassettes hold up? Because like VHS tapes don't. But
No,
do
I
cassettes
think
hold
they're
up
more
a little bit?
for like, you know what I'm gonna do with mine if I ever have a place that has walls.
What?
I bought at an estate sale a vintage Case Logic cassette holder that you hang on the wall, just the black plastic thing that holds probably like 40 cassettes.
Amazing.
And I almost see that as like pop art. Like fill that up with The Cure and Susie and the Banshees and Madonna. I still have my Madonna cassette that smells like patchouli.
It's a great conversation piece.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Stick that in a bathroom. Someone's gonna be taking a poo. I hate poo talk. Someone's going to be using the facilities.
A party pooper, literally.
I'm a party pooper. And that's really going to bring a smile to their face.
That will. That's a really fun idea. Yeah, use that stuff as art. Don't keep it hidden in your storage unit. Display it. Yeah. Should you have wall?
Should I ever get a wall?
There was a now iconic campaign in 1981 but started in Britain called Home Taping is Killing Music. Do you remember this? So they would print that in newspapers and magazines to try to discourage kids from taping music off the radio as if that was a huge threat. They thought that would destroy the music industry.
Off the radio they were mad about?
Yes.
I mean, I used to, I don't know if you're probably too young, as am I, but I heard there was a man named Casey Kasem.
Oh, I've heard of Casey Kasem,
now,
sure.
that's before my time, but I can just imagine being a young gay kid in Ohio listening to Casey's Countdown, which, oh my God, Casey's Countdown. He would play whatever, like the top 50 songs every Sunday. And you were so excited to get to the end, and you kind of knew where your favorite ones were based on where they were last week. So you'd wait and try to like cleanly record it. Like you have your cassette in there. Again, this isn't me, but this is what I'm assuming.
You read about this in the newspaper.
But you know what he did that I love so much? He did a segment called Long Distance Dedication. And it would be, I'm already crying and I can't even like think of one. Taylor's made me emotional today. But it would be like I got married in June and my husband got shipped off and he's over there. And our favorite song was Stevie Wonder's I Will Always Love You. That's what he was in. Stevie Wonder's, what's that song?
Isn't She Lovely?
No. Oh, sure. That's a good one. Okay. Isn't She Lovely? And so Casey would like dedicate that to that person.
Sure.
They were so sweet and touching.
Those kill me. There's Coast 103.5, which is our like soft rock radio station here in LA. They do that during the holidays.
Yeah.
The idea of somebody in 2025 connecting with a loved one by calling a radio station and talking for 3 minutes about like how meaningful this person has been to them, and then playing a song, and that person, you like what, text them and go, hey, turn on the radio. I don't understand, but it does break my heart with its sweetness.
The same person that does that is the same person that writes Parade Magazine to ask them what Renee Zellweger's up to these days. And the same person that checks Craigslist misconnections to see if anyone saw them walking down Larchmont.
May that person never die.
I hope they live forever.
Dead Kennedys, they had their cassette tape during this campaign, Home Taping is Killing Music. They left a B-side of their album blank that said, Home Taping is Killing record industry profits. We left this side blank so you can help.
I love
I thought you would love that.
Who doesn't love a bad boy trying to just stick it to the man?
The original punks.
The man's been trying to keep us down ever since like physical media came.
Sure.
You remember old VHS tapes and Laserdisc. They would have that giant FBI warning at the beginning, like, this is copyrighted.
Exactly. So
don't you try to steal this from us. They knew if they're saying that, they're basically telling you. It's like, I hadn't even thought about stealing it, but now that you're telling me that it's obviously easy to.
And they do make those VHS players that have 2 slots to record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in the 80s, the VHS and film piracy push, where there were the rise of home video. The studios were panicked that home users would kill their revenue by taping their copies of VHS tapes and selling them? I don't know. They thought it'd be a huge threat that would destroy the industry.
Can I throw in something funny? I recently was going through a bunch of very old stuff at my mom's house in the basement, and I came across hundreds of VHS tapes from when I was younger, and I'm not even going to go through them. They're all just going to get tossed, I think. But like, there would be things on, like, it would be like Cosby Show, great episode.
See, I wouldn't toss that stuff.
I think I mean,
that stuff, it's unique. You know what I mean? Like, if it's like, oh, this is the Happy Meal toy that there's a million of, everybody saved. That stuff I don't feel as like strongly about. But stuff like this, that's like 1 in a million.
But there's like 400 of them. So I'll send them to you if you want to archive them.
I mean, gosh, if we had some
You know
more
what
walls.
I would love to see, all the commercials.
Yes.
And there is a woman who,
You've
wanted
mentioned
to
this before, yeah.
She's passed away, but apparently she had like 100, 10 VCRs and recorded everything on television for like 40 years. And now all those tapes have been collected. And I think the Internet Archive is digitizing them and going to make them available to everybody.
She's a hero.
But talk about what a cool thing. And this is that, but in a really sloppy version. It's all going to be Days of Our Lives episodes, Simpsons, Cosby Show, and then whatever happens to be like an occasional like bicentennial. That's only in 1 year.
An occasional.
And we didn't have a VCR. And I mean, I wasn't alive in 1770. Okay, get back onto it. Napster.
In 1992, there was a campaign called the Don't Copy That Floppy, which was a response to the fears that the panic of piracy had shifted to computers, and floppy disk swapping in schoolyards was so common that the software industry would be dismantled by it. So here's a campaign that they did. I'll play a little bit of the song, Don't Copy That Floppy.
Did I hear you right? Did I hear you saying that you're gonna make a copy of a game without paying? Come on, guys. I thought you knew better. Don't copy that floppy.
So it goes on and on.
It's really good.
On and
There
on
was
and
probably an 8-year period where anyone who was not an actual performer or rapper, every rap kind of had to sound like, and I'm here to say, a dun dun dun, and I'm on away. Like they all sounded the exact same.
Exactly, yeah.
Bless their hearts.
Yeah, he's working.
Someone's at home like, you know what? I should. They've like just about to insert their floppy disk into their machine and like, that song really
stuck
really
with me.
had a point.
I don't want to let down the digital protector, as it says on his jacket, DP. And then the 90s, the
DP
birth of the...
can mean something else, and so can floppy. But I'm going to leave both of those at that, and we'll continue.
Who's the naughty boy now?
I mean, I didn't say it was naughty.
Talking about the World Wide Web has got you horny. It's taking you back to a simpler time.
I mean, 90s web for me is...
all you have to say is 90s web and... if the table's shaking, that's why. The early 90s brought in the birth of the MP3. So there was this German engineer at this Fraunhofer Institute. They perfected the MP3 format, which was a way to digitize music. So it would be a really small, easily shareable file. And then piracy is now entering the digital age. A CD's worth of music can now be shrunk down into a file small enough that you could send it across the internet. At this point, the term digital piracy was entering like journalism, newspapers, and by 1997, it wasn't just software, but it was music and movies were being shared across the internet. At this point, it was still something that required a lot of I'm not a hacker. I mean, I use the term hacker very generally. You had to be a hacker to know how to send
That's what it
internet
was.
files. I don't know what hacking looks like aside from movies where they're typing really fast and the code is streaming. In my mind, that's what hacking is.
If you want to know what hacking is, please check out The Net with Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
I watch it every year
That
in
is
the
hacking.
fall.
Sure.
That is hacking.
We're due for the net.
I got to watch The Net
Can I
soon.
watch the net with you or do you have to be alone?
Yeah, no.
Okay, great. Great. Tonight?
Tonight?
Can we watch
We have to...
the net tonight?
Let me jump on LimeWire and download The Net.
Whoa, downloading the net on LimeWire?
Whoa, full circle
Whoa,
moment.
That'd be so cool. So at that time, yeah, you had to be a hacker to know how to share music or digital files on the internet. And so hackers would chat on IRC. Do you remember IRC? This was Internet Relay Chat. I remember that acronym from like early AOL days, but I never dabbled in it. I wasn't a hacker. Hotline, Usenet were a couple of these kind of like hacker chat rooms. So now let's talk about Napster. Napster was created by a man named Shawn Fanning.
I bet he was cute. Nerd
Yeah,
cute.
you would like all the boys in this. They're all what you would think.
Creamy.
They're creamy. They're a little schlubby.
Someone
a
said
little...
they didn't like it when we used the word creamy, and I
About-
can see why.
about hot people.
Yeah. I think you had said it about teens.
18.
Yeah, of course, 18
Sure,
in West
senior.
Side Story.
An
Yes.
18-year-old in West Side Story.
Creamy teen.
So Shawn Fanning, he was born on November 22nd, 1980, and he was raised by his mom, Colleen, in the Boston area. He had kind of a rough childhood. His dad wasn't around. They had some financial difficulties. But he was a smart cookie, and he did well in school, and he was a good basketball player. And his friends gave him the nickname Napster in reference to his short, nappy hair.
Oh, I thought, like me, now in the afternoon, I like to take a short little nap.
Nappy.
Nappy. Hey, Napster. Not yet. 10 more minutes, man.
We should call you Napster. His uncle is a man named Jon Fanning, and he was kind of like a father figure to Shawn at that time. So they spent a lot of time together and he would offer him guidance. And he was noticing that Shawn was really bright. He was really smart. So he bought him his first computer, which was an Apple Macintosh. I mean, an early Mac. Come on, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Shawn quickly gets obsessed with programming and networking, and he's chatting with these other hackers on IRC. And he worked during the summer at his uncle's company because he was also a computer guy, their company Net Games, which was a platform for playing chess online.
Chess. That chess came up for me this week.
Really?
I saw a beautiful chess set. And I was talking to my friend, and I was like, do you play chess? And she's like, I'm not good at it. But she explained to me what each piece can do. And I knew each piece had its own power. But for some reason, when she explained it,
It felt beautiful.
It was like, who the thought of this? Like, it's so crazy. But I could see, like, getting into it. Like, because you're always having to think about, okay, if I do that and I'm here, what can they do? And like, yeah, maybe I'll become a chess wizard.
Maybe you will become,
Or checkers.
Pickleball.
Okay, pickleball.
Bingo. The Uno experience, which
Uno
is now
experience. There was some food,
defunct.
chess. I hope someone's keeping a list.
Chess master. Great. So he would work during the summer at his uncle's company, this computer chess company. And at that time, he also became with a man.
He became a man. Okay.
At that time, he became friends with a guy named Shawn Parker. Does that name ring a bell?
No, I'm thinking of the South Park guy, Trey Parker.
Okay, well, we'll put a pin in Shawn Parker. We'll talk about him later.
He's one of the guys, though. He's one of them.
We'll get to him. And a guy named Jordan Ritter. So they met on IRC, and they're two other teenage computer enthusiasts. They're just like, just nerdy guys. And they lived in Virginia and California. So they're connecting over the internet, and they're talking about music and physics, and they're just like, brainy kids. So Shawn Fanning has this computer. He's teaching himself how to program. And then in 1998, after graduating from high school, he enrolls at Northeastern University on a scholarship. The year Fanning arrived at university coincided with the breakthrough of the MP3 format for compressing music onto digital files. So you're at college, everyone has computers, you can compress music. It's kind of like all coinciding at this like magical time for something incredible to happen. As we said, at this time, previously, for anybody younger than, what age would this be? 37? You had to buy a CD, which now sounds crazy. If you wanted to hear one song, you had to buy a whole CD.
God, so buying CDs back in the day, let's say Madonna came out with a new album. You would go buy Madonna's CD. Then, over the course of the next 4 months, whatever became a single, Hanky Panky,
Sure.
Like a Prayer. If you really love Madonna, then you would go buy the Like a Prayer single. And on that would either be like 4 remixes of that song. There'd be 3 songs that weren't on the album that were incredible. And this is what I'm bitching about today's music. Because now everyone's putting out 7 inches and they're either leaving the second side blank and just like they're etching a picture into it.
What a waste.
Or just putting the same song again.
Why?
Like nobody's doing like a jukebox B-side anymore. And they're charging like $18 for these plus $10 shipping. So if you want this one like Chapel Rowan single, you're in it for almost $30. It's insane.
Throw some other shit on there.
I
mean, just talk.
Just
do what we do. Put a podcast on there.
Put an episode of On Brand on there.
There you go.
Hello, Sharks.
If you wanted to learn about new music, you had to listen to the radio or watch MTV or hear it from your friends. So it's kind of like what you're saying, like live versions of albums or live versions of songs were really hard to come by.
Oh my God, impossible to come by.
Especially if you didn't live in a big city and maybe you didn't have access to certain kind of music stores, if you wanted indie rock, underground.
And this is before YouTube, so you couldn't just look things up on YouTube. It was impossible.
Yeah, so
it would be like if you had a favorite band, you could maybe find like a fan group where people would mail each other cassettes.
Wow.
Because that's how I used to bootleg concerts.
Yeah.
My trick was, because you would get patted down when you went to a concert. They did not want you to record that, which is so funny now because we all have like
everyone's recording
a movie
every
studio on our phones
Yes.
now. But we were not allowed to bring a handheld tape recorder in. So my trick became, and I think the first time I did it was at a Bjork concert and it
Stick
worked.
it between your butt cheeks.
No, I'm not you. I bought a sleeveless hoodie because that's cool from like Ross. A blue sleeveless hoodie.
Okay.
And I put the tape recorder in the hood. They did not pat down.
They didn't squeeze the hood?
They didn't pat down my upper back.
I feel like now they're squeezing the hood. It's like, I feel like when I see people get pat, I mean, that feels like such an obvious pocket. It's nature's pocket.
Now, I mean, you go to like a modern place, they don't even squeeze you down or make you empty your pockets. They can...
The gesture of peeking in a bag, it's so pointless. And it takes so long. It adds... I waited literally 1 hour to get into a public pool at the end of summer.
What?
And the line took so long because they're peeking in everyone's bag. Sure, if I had so I don't have a bomb in my big like beach bag, you don't even dig around.
No, I could have 7 razor blades.
I could have 7 razor blades tucked under my bag of Funyuns, and you're not even
Funyuns?
and you're not even digging around.
Not to go off topic because that is not what this show's about.
Sure.
But can we talk Funyuns for a second?
So good.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Funyuns have stayed steady course. Funyuns, that's what they are.
Yes.
And they were almost never on sale. They had gotten up to like $5.29 a bag. So I'm never buying Funyuns because I only buy sale. All of a sudden, Funyun is entering the variant game.
Oh.
They have ramen flavored Funyuns. They have steakhouse flavored Funyuns.
Oh.
They have ruffled Funyun flavored Funyuns. So, like,
how do you ruffle a Funyun?
I don't know. There's like Funyuns all over the place.
Wow.
And I've tried them. I do still like the original.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They have like a sweetness to them.
This is as much as I used to like to go into like we're all over the place today.
Sure.
Like go into like foreign Targets. Like I used to love when I'm in another town. When we went to Hawaii and there was a Target and there's a whole aisle
People are like taking photos of like Mount Rushmore and you're like on Google Maps looking for the nearest Target. Because you're like, whoa, they put produce in the front. That's different.
We don't have that many pineapples. There was a whole aisle of macadamia nuts. Okay. What made me think of that? What was I talking about right before that?
Funyuns.
Oh, so one of my favorite things to do, there's also a million Funyun knockoffs. Like if you go to like I was telling you how I like to go to Japanese grocery stores.
Yes.
There's like a Japanese Funyun.
Sure.
There's like just all these different, so I enjoy trying the different Funyuns.
It is a fun shape.
A
A little dusty circle.
Shape, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Circle.
So that's how music was at the scene. Acquiring music was very difficult. It depended on living in a big city or putting in all this extra effort to like get someone to mail you something on the internet. That's kind of what the culture is at the time. So now people, they have their school computers. They can upload CDs to their computers as MP3s. And like we said, despite the internet kind of being a rising thing, it was still difficult to share them online. It wasn't like an accessible way for you to do it. How would you even figure that out? Around the end of 1998, Shawn got an idea to solve this very problem, and he told his IRC friends, Jordan Ritter and Sean Parker, who immediately wanted to get involved. Parker had, against his parents' wishes, not gone to college, so as soon as he hears this offer about getting involved in this new kind of music sharing venture, he immediately picks up and moves to San Francisco. Never before spent any time away from home. He's just like, let's get into it. I'm all in.
He's not the other Facebook guy, is he?
Let's talk about Sean Parker.
Okay. While are we done with formats? Because I feel like we went from like vinyl to 8-track to cassette to CD
Whoa.
to MP3. Now we've gone back to vinyl. Are we going backwards? Like what?
That's a real phonograph.
Phonographs. We've been in MP3 and digital files and now going back to vinyl for a very long time.
Well, what would it be?
We joked about for years we're gonna put a Jagged Little Pill chip in our brain.
Sure.
But is something next?
As a kid, I had a toothbrush that when you brushed your teeth, you could hear the music in your head.
I love that.
Have you ever seen those? There's like something about how like if you bite down, like the bones in your teeth, like send the music to your brain.
Shocking that you don't like music. You're like, no music, no music.
No music. brushy makes the music. Yeah, how does that work? It's like there's something to it, but you bite and you hear.
That happened on a Gilligan's Island. He was able to pick up some radio signals that way.
Sure, yeah.
So I think they listened to music.
I'm still waiting to get hit on the head with the other coconut that's going to reverse my memory loss. I'm convinced that's why I don't remember anything. And I'm just waiting for the other coconut to fall.
Well, I know what I'll get you for the holidays.
So Sean Parker, you are right.
It came to me just in time.
Sean Parker. So think of Justin Timberlake in the Facebook movie.
That's who
that
he
is.
is.
Who we're talking about.
He's the one that was like, lose the.
Sure.
And just have it be Facebook.
Yes. So, and that is who he is. So, Shawn Fanning, we have two Shawns. Shawn, S-H-A-W-N, and Sean Parker is S-E-A-N.
Okay.
What's that all about? S-E-A-N. Why is that Shawn?
A Shawn sandwich.
It's a Shawn sandwich. John's the peanut butter. And Shawn Fanning, he's
Nutty.
like what you think of as like the true hackery nerd, like the hoodie, the kind of like a little bit of an introvert, maybe less of a less social. Slides. He's got slides.
Definitely has basketball shorts.
Yeah, big stinky feet. Sean Parker is like the smooth talking, kind of slick, entrepreneurial minded guy. So Sean Parker was born in 1979 in Virginia, and he was a self-taught hacker, literally a hacker, who'd already been caught by the FBI as a teenager for breaking into Fortune 500 company networks.
Wow, what was he doing with them?
Tinkering around. Having a little fun.
That's so War Games.
It's so War Games.
Another great movie. If you haven't seen it, every fall, drop in War Games.
Okay, double feature net War Games.
Oh my God.
Big mug of hot cocoa.
Heaven.
Rain falling outside your window. Fire crackling. War Games on the TV.
Never leave. In a Shawn sandwich.
Unbelievable.
2 cardboard cutouts of the Shawns.
So even after he got in trouble with the FBI for this hacking, his parents, they wanted to encourage him to channel his skills, his brilliance into something productive.
Be a doctor, be a scientist.
Or be a computer businessman. Don't be like a computer hacker. Use your skills for good. So they met through this IRC, this online chat room. They're bonding over their coding and their hacking and all that. And Gosh, I
Okay,
forgot
you're
what my
stumbling.
sex
So I'm
symbol
going to
is.
do this joke
Okay.
that is stupid joke.
Yeah.
What I realized in the 90s is you were either a computer hacker or a computer whacker. You know, like someone that just
That jacks off
whacks off at the computer.
to the computer.
That
Which one were you?
I was the whacker.
You were the whacker. I am the whack.
I am the whacker.
Hacker or whacker?
Hacker or whacker.
Okay, we'll do a poll. Hacker or whacker?
Merch.
As I mentioned, Sean Parker. He became Napster's, just a spoiler for what's coming. He did become Napster's first president. He became quite successful in Silicon Valley, and he went on to join Facebook, and he was played by Justin Timberlake in The Social Network.
Yeah, he must have been super rich.
He also had a $10 million wedding in Big Sur where we went camping.
That's right. That's why they had those nice bathrooms. That, from what I remember, that was part of the condition. He could have his wedding there, but he had to like put in nice bathrooms.
That was what we were told. I did a lot of research into the wedding, and I feel like that might be more true because I feel like why would we have made that up? This beautiful campground in Big Sur, which is coastal Redwood City in California, beyond gorgeous, one of the most magical places on earth. He had a $10 million wedding in Big Sur with a $4.5 million set intertwined with the old growth redwood tree grove to create like a fairy tale in the middle of the forest, which was Lord of the Rings themed.
I remember that was a theme.
All 364 guests wore custom-made costumes created by Lord of the Rings film costume designer. Unbelievable.
And he paid for all that, or did you have to pay for it yourself? They're like,
No, he paid for all of it.
you're
And
like, I'll be Gollum. And they're like, that'll be $2,000.
but of those guests, so these are people who have a Lord of the Rings costume. Emma Watson, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom. They have in their closets, I assume. Kamala Harris has in her closet a Lord of the Rings costume.
I wonder who she played.
I hope they gave them characters like Dungeons and Dragons.
Were there like 9 Golems, or is there just who gets to play? Someone's like, I'm Gollum.
I don't know.
Look, you fit the costume.
He ended up getting in trouble with the Coastal Commission about like illegal construction. Like they allowed him to do it, but then it was always like, you know, he inched a little bit more, pushed the line a little bit. He had to pay $2.5 million in a donation to the coastal conservation programs in exchange for his wedding.
For him.
God, this wedding looked so good. The size of a Tupperware you would need to take the food.
I would need. You'd probably just have
Unreal.
it sent to my home.
Oh, sure. It would show up like 1 week later. Like, we made a fresh version of the food in case you were missing it. A slice of cake.
That is also, sure, that's all well and good for him and his memories. That is where we went camping, as you mentioned. And that is where my now iconic joke was created, where after we had all gone to bed, and it was all you could hear were crickets. I, for the first time, had downloaded episodes of Sex and the City to my iPad. So I waited for just the perfect moment. And then I played the whoosh, and the theme song started to play, and everyone died laughing. So now...
Yeah, there's no funnier sound when you're... The stillness, the quiet, the maybe waves crashing in the distance because we were near the coast.
We were by the coast.
The still quiet, surrounded by the 100-year-old redwood trees, and we're hearing the Sex and the City theme song. God, that was a fun camping trip. That's also where we went to the restaurant where we were like, oh my God, this jam is so amazing. We thought they like made it from scratch. We were like, do you sell this jam? And they were like, bitch, it's not.
It's not. It's Berry Farm, which now is out of business. It's a dead brand.
Wow.
We can't get that jam anymore.
That's really sad.
Like Boysenberry, Knott's Berry Farm jam.
Well, I recommend Big Sur and specifically the Ventana campground if you want to see where Sean Parker got married. So Parker is in, and Fleming gets increasingly immersed in this project. He's skipping classes at school. He's getting a little bit in trouble. The grades are declining, but it doesn't matter because after some months, the project is taking form. And in May of 1999, his uncle John, the one who worked at the tech company, who's kind of like a father, he's seeing an opportunity here, and he encourages him to incorporate a company. He has years of experience in the tech world, and his uncle persuaded him to let him run the company and get 70% of the business to him. So
The
his
uncle did?
The uncle takes 70% of the business. But he's also coming, I mean, these are kids. He's coming in with all this experience and these connections. So it seemed like, well, that's kind of like a big ask. You didn't come up with the idea, but I'm also like, well, he's a literal teenager. He's 18.
Was Napster a paid service? How are they
No, it was
making their
free.
money?
Well, it didn't work out.
What is the revenue from? 70% of what? Aren't you just steal? Isn't it just
Ads.
peer sharing?
Ads.
Is it advertisements? I
Yeah,
guess
I mean,
it must
wasn't.
have
It was
been.
free to use. So in June, Shawn distributed a test version of his program to his friends on IRC, and the success is immediate. It's like, it's off to the races. Dozens of copies of albums are surfing through the cyber waves, and any user can share music freely, easily, quickly. They do a couple tweaks, they get in there, tinker around. Now it's ready to release to the masses. The service is called Napster, and it's officially launched in September of 1999. September of 1999. This is a very short-lived company. So this is starting September 1999. Napster's growth.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
In 1999, my birthday was 9/9/99.
Wow, that's fun.
If I had been born, but okay, I was born by
I
1999.
think you were born. That was your first birthday?
That was my first birthday.
You were 0?
1.
Okay, I believe that.
That was fun though.
Napster's growth was supercharged by college campuses because universities had high-speed broadband connections, and most home computers had dial-up. So if you had dial-up, you would do what we did, set the songs to marinate overnight. In the morning, you hope maybe one of them downloaded all the way. On a college campus, you could have
So fast.
You could have it in minutes. You would have a whole album on your computer. So now they have their extensive digital libraries. They're burning CDs and selling them to make money. It's very entrepreneurial.
That does remind me. Around this time, there was like a song that I couldn't figure out how to get on a CD. And I went to like the IT person.
At school?
No, this was like this was in the 2000s,
Okay.
but before I really still understood burning CDs. And asked him if he could put a song on a CD for me. He said he could do it for $20.
One song?
One song.
That's the CD. That's
$20.
That's crazy.
It's like, what? I was getting scammed.
Oh, man.
Everyone's always looking for a way to make some
What's that
cash.
guy doing now?
I hope he's doing well.
I hope
because
he's doing really
I
well.
hope he has the peace and happiness we all deserve.
I hope he's in the Discord. I hope he's a brand freak. So now venture capitalists are taking notice. What is this new disruptor in the tech industry? Napster Inc. got approached by an angel investor named Yossi Amram, and he gave $2 million to hire an experienced manager named Eileen Richardson as the CEO of Napster. And they relocated the team to San Mateo, California. So now this was just like kind of a kid dorm room college scheme. Now it's like in Silicon Valley, it's off to the races. So with all this rapid growth, no surprise that it did not take long for the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA, to take notice and sue the company because, of course, why not? In December of 1999, a complaint was filed for contributory and vicarious copyright infringement.
3 months in.
3 months in.
They pulled a Jurassic Park, the little
not so fast. And if you remember this, a demo of Metallica's song I Disappear began circulating across the network before its official release. Radio stations across the US picked it up from Napster and started playing it on their radio stations. Metallica hears it and go, that song has not come out yet. Then they learn about Napster. They had no idea. They learn about Napster. All of their back catalog is available entirely for free on Napster. So they found out by hearing their songs on the radio and going, we didn't release that song.
Oh my, were they pissed?
They were really pissed.
So did they take action?
They took action. So Metallica took action on April 13th, 2000. They filed a lawsuit. A month later, Dr. Dre, represented by the same legal team, launched his own suit after Napster ignored his request to remove his catalog. He says, like, hey, take down all of my music. They're like, we can't do that. So he sues them. Lars Ulrich from Metallica delivered 335,000 usernames of Napster users to the company's office, demanding that they be banned. So we're trying to really dig in and take this thing down on the artist side. Lars Ulrich became the public face of the anti-Napster fight, which in doing so kind of alienated him from his entire generation of fans because Metallica is seen as, you know, you're
Rebels.
a disruptor, you're a rebel, you're not siding with like the corporations. Like the music should be free for everybody, but you can also just understand an artist would want to be compensated for their work. And so you can see both sides of it. But for the standard Metallica fan specifically, like if it was like Shania Twain, you might like expect a little bit more, but it was a little off brand for Lars Ulrich to be protecting the recording studios and their profits.
So his fans were just like, dude,
Dude, let us have it for free.
dude.
Metallica fans famously surfer dudes.
Dude. They're not, what, they don't dude? What do they say?
I don't know if they do.
Dude. Yeah, they're like, dude.
And when they leave a party, they go,
Dip.
That's going to take off. I just know it.
We're going to do it in every episode.
So this where it created a little bit of a divide in the music industry. So a lot of the industry side, the corporate side, they were arguing that Napster was directly destroying music sales But a lot of emerging artists and obviously the fans saw it as an opportunity to boost and like elevate artists that had previously not had that kind of exposure. Like if you were an underground artist, how are you going to get played on the radio? You're not on MTV. The clearest example of this is in 2000 when Radiohead's album Kid A was released on Napster 3 weeks before its official release, so it got leaked. Unlike Dr. Dre or Metallica or Madonna, who at the time her song Music leaked, Music makes the people. You know that song? It got leaked on Napster and she was very unhappy about that. Radiohead was like, great, let's see what happens, because they had never cracked the US top 20. And Kid A was a very experimental album. It didn't have like obvious singles, any radio hits. Yet by October, after millions of free downloads, the album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. And critics say that Napster is what put Radiohead in the ears of millions of listeners.
Wow.
So there you go. We might
And
not
now
have
look at them.
Radiohead.
They're musical darlings.
They're musical darlings.
Yeah.
I think that's how they define themselves.
I think people are I think there's rumors that there might be a new Radiohead album coming out because there was some sort of like, all these nerds figure all this stuff out. There was like
Does everybody talk in Da Vinci Code now? Like every artist like leaves little breadcrumbs and clues?
Well, they do, but not always on purpose, I don't think. Like
Okay.
people look at like trademark filings and like things like that. And they're like,
interesting.
oh, they filed this. So now that probably means there's something happening.
Wow, because all that stuff is like searchable and available. That's how I am so curious. I'm like that. If I cared about music, I'd be doing that. There's a commercial real estate website called LoopNet, and I'll see a vacant storefront in my neighborhood, and I'm like, let's see what's going on LoopNet. I go on LoopNet, I look up for a lease, I look for sale. I'm like, oh, it's a coffee shop. Coffee shop is moving in, and then I get to tell all the gossip to the neighbors. So I'm kind of like that. I'm a digital detective also.
That's pretty
Quite
cool.
nosy.
Everyone's coming to you for all the answers, for all the empty store. Why do you have so many empty storefronts?
Bad neighborhood.
That's a rough neighborhood.
In July of 2000, a federal judge ruled against Napster and ordered the closing of the service. But at the same time, there was another website called mp3.com that had won a lawsuit. So Napster thought like, well, maybe there's a chance that we could make it work and stay alive just a little bit longer. Because at that time, Napster services are skyrocketing. More and more people are finding out about the website because of all the publicity from the lawsuits in like the newspapers and all on the news channels. So it ended up being this incredible promotional tool. So it felt like they wanted to stay in the game a little bit longer before bending over and getting spanked by a judge. So a year after it was launched, Napster had 4 million users worldwide. It's becoming now a global brand. A venture partner company, Hummer Windblad, I mean, probably billionaires, but never heard of it. Hummer Windblad Venture Partners entered with $65 million with the idea of developing Napster into a commercial service. Like, okay, we have this amazing, recognizable brand that's gotten all this incredible publicity. Maybe there's a way we could work with the labels to find out how to make it like everything above board and be legal. And so they're thinking if there was a path to do that, maybe there's a path to make this a viable company. In October of 2000, 20-year-old, he's now only 20, Shawn Fanning was featured on the cover of Time magazine. He's identified as the rising star of the so-called new economy.
This is in 2000?
This is in 2000.
You know who else was on the cover of Time magazine in 2000?
Who?
The cast of Survivor.
Oh my God! The new season's great, by the way.
I mean...
It just started.
Can I just say, let's go back to... 1 year before 9/11.
Oh, God.
Everything.
Richard Hatch, naked on the beach.
MP3 stealing is the hottest case in the country.
For real. That's when everyone's panties in a twist.
Survivor literally, I mean, it was so groundbreaking at the time. Because Richard Hatch, I think you just said, was he's like naked walking around an island. They figured out how to have like alliances and everything. It was just watching it unfold and just being like, it was the same when Real World came out like 5-6 years earlier. It was like these very early peeks into what felt like just real human beings.
Yes.
Which now none of it feels real.
Because everybody speaks in this reality show voice.
Yeah.
That is
there was
so
a school.
inauthentic.
There's like school. At one point, there was a reality television school you would go to learn how
Is this like the Olive Garden school?
The Culinary Institute?
Yes.
No, because I went there. It's real.
Your Alfredo Alfredo is.
You don't think anyone... I literally can make the Olive Garden.
You can?
It's like 3 ingredients.
Great, let's have it. Us watching the net, eating fettuccine Alfredo. Oh my
Double
God.
feature, Matthew Broderick.
Twist my arm.
Married to Sarah Jessica Parker. But yeah, of course, someone took advantage of reality TV in New York, made like a school.
Yes.
$2,000 will teach you how to be a villain.
You know, there's something special too about watching a reality show before anybody knows the rules.
Exactly.
It's
That's
incredible.
what it was.
Yeah.
I was into Survivor for years and Amazing Race. And Big Brother. They were all at the top. Big Brother used to be so big that people would pay to fly helicopters over the house to try to tell the contestants, like, Brendan's lying to you or like whatever. Like
there was like cameras in the house. You could go to like Big Brother 24hours.com and you could see like security camera footage of just the house live.
Yeah.
Which was so crazy. And me like 11, like, let's see what Doug is up to. You're in the bathroom, eh? It's like I'm watching Doug in the bathroom.
He's still wearing the chicken costume. Okay. He must have got a penalty. Yeah, it was a crazy time.
Take me back to 2000.
2000.
Oh,
if I had the time machine.
If we had the time machine, October of 2000, when Shawn Fanning is on the cover of Time magazine, you're never going to find a better month than that.
Wow.
So they think Napster now, they're getting all this publicity. There's a path to profitability and being legal, but it did not go as expected. They're unable to control the traffic of copyrighted materials on the network. And after more than a year of litigation, on July 11th, 2001, Napster shut down its network to comply with this court injunction. A year later, they temporarily allowed operations to resume, but by then, it's already done. The momentum's gone. And in September of 2001, Napster agreed to a $26 million settlement for past infringements and a $10 million advance on future royalties. They tried to pivot to a subscription service, testing a prototype called Napster 3.0 with secure file formats and audio fingerprinting.
More like Napster 3.0. No, thank you.
They, of course, couldn't get any licensing deals with the major labels because it was different than it is now, where, like, ironically, now music is free again.
It's free. Well, I mean, there's
you
Spotify.
pay a subscription, which is what Napster was trying to do, was like a subscription fee for music. Technically, I guess you would own it. It didn't work out. This German media company in 2002 offered $85 million to acquire Napster and relaunch it as a legitimate music service. But a bankruptcy judge blocked the sale, forcing Napster to liquidate. And on September 3rd, 2002, the original Napster was officially dead.
Wow.
Wow.
I can't say I didn't see that coming.
You're not waiting for the new Taylor Swift album to download at home. Boy, she would hate Napster.
I got oh my gosh. She took on Apple. Like, she like removed all her music from Apple. Did you hear she's not doing the Super Bowl this year because she told them she would only do it if she could own the performance? And they were like, nah.
Oh my gosh.
You don't get paid to do the Super Bowl, but they're willing to spend whatever you need to make the show.
Wow.
And she's like, yeah, you do that and I own it. And they're like,
why would you get both? Either then you pay for it and then you get it.
Right.
Interesting.
Interesting girl, but yeah, she would hate Napster.
She would hate Napster.
Yeah.
Regular Lars
She'd
Ulrich.
go to each of our homes. Hey, computer whacker.
Do I hear Shake It Off playing in there? My records indicate you have not paid for this album. The Shawns, they went on to, obviously, Shawn Parker went to do Facebook. Shawn Fanning went to try to make a bunch of other, like, sharing kind of like social media themed things. He had like a CD burning software that he was working with as a consultant that purchased the Napster name and intellectual property. Something that, this is like a dead brand of Palooza. Roxio, CD and DVD burning software.
He was part of Roxio? I actually did use Roxio.
You really used Roxio?
I went through so I became a Christmas mixed CD icon in this town for about a decade. I love Christmas music.
I dare you to bring it back.
I'm thinking, people keep saying I should do just like a playlist on Spotify, but then I think you're required to whatever's on Spotify. So I would burn CDs, and I got these special CDs where you could burn an image on them. I got a special CD burner. It would take me, I would design the cover for the CD. It would take 30 minutes each CD
gosh.
to just burn the cover on it. And I got to the point where I was making like 75 of these. So I had to start in like November, and I would just, whatever I was doing all day, I would just put one in to burn, 30 minutes later take it out. But I would start looking for the music for the mix in August, because I would like...
And it was always holiday music?
Always holiday, but I always wanted to find like the rare, like we were talking about earlier, a B-side of some from some cool indie band that covered a Christmas song once that no one had heard of. And now it's like, you know, you can find things a lot easier, but like, of course, me, Rabbit Hole John, like would spend just months and months putting this together. And I was so proud of them. So I really do miss
I think you could still do it. Our friend Wayne still, up until like 2 years ago, he would send a physical burned CD for Christmas.
That's what I would do too. I finally stopped, and my whole thing was like, I'd do all that work, and then I would get to the post office, and they wanted to charge like a special rate for them because they're CDs, and I'm like, no, it's just a thick card, and then like I would just risk it and do like the 35 cents after all that work, and they're like, you know, it has to go through a machine that does this, and it could break, and I'm like, it'll be fine. It was always fine.
They were always fine. That's how they scare you.
Yeah, it's like $4 a CD or 37 cents.
What a scam.
What a scam.
Media mail.
Stupid post office.
They're always trying to nickel and dime ya.
Literally. Okay.
Meanwhile, a miracle. We actually do have a listener who's a postal worker.
I know.
So he worked on Roxio. He tried to create a social network called Rupture that was like way to chat for World of Warcraft players, which World of Warcraft ended up buying that for $15 million, his idea. He claims that no one made any money from Napster because they had to spend so much money in legal fees. But then you're like, you made $15 million from all of these little things. It seems like everybody in this world gets quite rich for doing things that end up not going anywhere.
I know. And I'm hustling day and night, and I'm like eating
posting
ramen.
these Insta eggs.
The goddamn eggs.
It's like I'd never heard of Roxio. I've never heard of Rupture. I've never heard of Path, which was their social networking app that was like Facebook, but limited you to just 50 close friends in an effort to create more intimate online connections. A live video social network called Supyo that turned into Airtime. I mean, these are all like fake Silicon Valley. Millions and millions and millions of dollars went into these companies, and they're all dead. It's a graveyard of dead tech brands.
Yeah, there was like, I mean, maybe it's still going on. I do feel like there was like this 20-year period where if you were in Silicon Valley, man, money was just flying.
That was like the podcast world 10 years ago.
I know. We jumped on it.
We came in a little late.
We jumped on it right when everyone was dusting the crumbs off their hands.
They were like, oh, a podcast. You mean like This American Life? Yeah, but instead of that, it's like us, like gabbing on about who the hell knows what. Yeah. Good luck with that.
You're going to stay on topic, right? Well, we'll see.
No promises. Damn.
I love that they can't see you. I can see it 1 second before it's going to happen. You now have dip face. Don't make that the screen grab, Al. I don't want dip face.
That's it for Napster. Is Napster on brand or off brand for you?
I mean, I would say at the time, Napster, I don't even know if it was on brand for me at the time because I was a LimeWire lad. But sure, I'll say, I mean, it's changed. It was on brand for me. Obviously, now it doesn't. No. I mean, would it still be? Maybe, I guess. Yes, it's a hard on brand for me. Okay. What about for you?
Considering I used it to download Shaggy's It Wasn't Me, who knows how many copies of
I wish we could. I wish we were rich enough to have that music play us out.
As our outro?
As our outro.
Everybody has it on their iPod. They can hit play.
That's fun.
I would say it's on brand for me. I would never call myself a hacker, but I consider piracy to be a pretty harmless, victimless crime.
You don't consider yourself a hacker. I'm surprised by that statement. That you don't see yourself as a very experienced hacker.
I'm not going to like go so far as to call myself a hacker. Do I know my way around the LoopNet commercial real estate website? Yeah.
Sure.
Do I know what businesses are for sale or for rent? Yeah, I do. Is a sushi spot opening up down the street and I found out months before anybody else? You bet your ass.
Is one of their other restaurants a Michelin restaurant?
Oh, yes, but not this one. We did walk by and see the storefront.
Because I saw the sticker and I asked him, I was like, oh, it's Michelin. He's like, well, our other one is. I'm like, okay. My other brother's a doctor. That doesn't make me special. Neither of my brothers are doctors. All right. Well, that was very fun. And now we have 2 brands in the grave. What will the rest of the month bring us?
Ooh.
Dip. All right. Well, before we go, of course, what would an episode of On Brand be without acknowledging a few of our brand freaks?
Let's do it.
Okay, if you're new to the show and you don't know how to be Freak of the Week, it's really quite simple. Every Wednesday on our Instagram story, I post a puzzle. If you solve that puzzle and send me your answer and you get it right, I'm going to send you a little freak badge that lets you know that you got it right, and I'm going to add your name to our Wheel of Freaks. Every week, I spin the wheel 5 times, and we pick 5 Freaks of the Week, and that's who these lucky people are now. This was for the Frownies Insta Egg, a brand that a lot of people didn't know, but the Insta Egg was super kind of straightforward, so most people got it right anyway. And these are the people that not only got it right, but got picked on the Wheel of Freaks. Matt Simon, Dina Cola, Rachel Walker, Cassandra Elizabeth, and Emma Conroy. I'm also giving a shout out to Eric Make a Mess because he got it first, and the wheel also picked him, even though he is Freak of the Week, and I normally wouldn't let him be Freak of the Week this soon. It was a double whammy, so I think God just wanted him to be Freak of the Week again. And then I'm going to do a special shout out today for a woman named Caitlin who listens to the show with her 2 children, Morris and Isla. They're 8 and 10 years old, and she wrote me and said that her kids love our banter and they love to hear us bleep out words. And they love to do the Insta Egg together. So I just thought it was so cute that there was an
so
8 and 10-year-old. And sometimes Caitlin has to listen to the show in advance to see make sure it's okay to listen to everything.
That is a good instinct.
Yes, and it gets us double listen. So if you have kids, always listen to the show once.
Love it.
And then you can pretend to pull over with the kids. Like you don't know what's going to happen. But Morris and Isla, thank you so much for listening. And I'll say that just because we'll bleep that out. And then you can have that. So there you go. And also, if you don't already, just check out our Instagram because every week we also post a package of pictures that are supplemental to the episode so you can see how hot the founders are and see what the buildings look like and all of those fun things too. So we have a lot of stuff on Instagram to look at.
While we're giving shout outs, I'd like to shout out a lovely listener who left us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We have Rob, who is very active in the Patreon and the Discard. Hi, Rob. He says, finally a freak. Compliment. Jon and Marisa and producer Al Pal are a prime example of fun adult friendships and are always a great listen. The only thing better than listening every Thursday is getting a little off-brand on Tuesdays. I've never been happier to be called a freak. We love you, Rob. Thank you for the kind words. If you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, please do. It helps the show, helps us, it boosts morale. If you want to check out Jon's Insta Egg and check out our supplementals on Instagram, @OnBrandThePod, on TikTok, @OnBrandThePodcast. You just listen to the episode. You can watch the episode on YouTube, On Brand the Podcast on YouTube. If it's us, that's the right place. We have a Reddit. There's another episode every Tuesday of Off Brand, our Patreon show, which is more off topic and blathering on. And I guess that's it. With that, we'll be back next week with an all new episode.
And before I do my iconic catchphrase to end the show, coincidentally, Rob is not only the person, Rob and Katie, his wife, are not only the person that sent us the crochet things last week, they're in labor today to have a child. And they wrote us and said, we're bringing a new freak into the world. So hopefully by the time they hear this, they will be at home with their new addition. And we send all the best and love to you guys.
Yes, many congrats to you. We love you, freaks.
And as you know, we may go off topic, but we'll always be on brand.
Bye.
Goodbye.